Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the last episode of Season 2 of Our Last Leg podcast. You got me, Nikki G, and my favorite co-host,
Jonny G. How you guys doing?
Not too bad, John. How was your week?
It's been good, man. But I tried my hardest to stay away from gambling this week.
Yeah, it's
just
hard.
so we can save our bankroll for Super Bowl.
Try to get a little stockpile of cash saved up so you can get some.
Fire away. This is the last game we get to, man.
I know. I'm disappointed, but I'm happy to be here. Last episode for the 2023-2024 season. This is one thing I always look forward to every single week.
Likewise.
To all the listeners, to you, I love being here talking football.
Yeah.
It's a really good feeling. When we end it, it's a dull part of the year.
Yeah.
But once we're back, like
Bittersweet.
That's what makes it so good.
Absolutely.
Once we get back to it, it always makes it great.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. Like it excites us because we're gonna see what new players are gonna be playing for what new teams. The lines, obviously, they finally get lower, so it's a lot easier to cash out.
That opening week of the NFL.
That goes for like NFL, NBA. You guys see, if you guys are betting NBA now, you see, and I don't know, man, if you guys are cashing it, sweet. For me, at least, it's so much harder to cash out on any of these player props just because those lines are so high.
Yeah.
But again, we're not here to talk about the NBA. We're here to talk about not only and only the NFL.
Super Bowl 58, ladies and gentlemen. My goodness, it's a good fucking game. We do have one order of business before we get started. We figured,
Why not for the last episode?
why not for the last episode? Let's go out with a bang.
So if you guys who are not watching on YouTube, go ahead and let them know what we're drinking today.
We're gonna pop open a little bottle of Bel Air, some Champagne. Very
it's
good
beer.
stuff.
Yeah, we usually got beer.
Not a
This
sponsored product.
one. Absolutely not. But we can be, hopefully.
Yeah, Rick
Maybe
Ross,
something.
holler, bro.
But we'll cut this for you guys if we pop it here. But hey, I'll get this out of the way while he's opening this up. If you guys have enjoyed this season and this content over this entire course of this NFL season, please be sure to drop a like, hit subscribe. We're gonna be here in the next season and maybe the next one after that.
Yeah, you're goddamn right.
Continuing, we love doing this every single week, like he said, and making these parlays and these straight bets. It makes us feel good when they cash, and it makes us feel even better when we see you guys cashing with us.
Yeah,
Right?
That's one of our favorite things to see. But I'd tell you right now, our favorite thing to see is green. Doesn't matter if it's our ticket, your ticket. That's all we want to see.
For sure.
John,
You do the honors
to season 2, baby.
to season 2, guys.
Woo! Ooh, she's a little bubbly today.
Oh,
All right.
do it right there on the mic so they can hear it, the little bubbles.
Just a bubble.
I can actually hear it too.
That was fucking nice. Super Bowl 58, though, ladies and gentlemen. I am very excited. I don't have a dog in this fight, but I'm very stoked. John, cheers, my brother.
Cheers, my friend.
Oh, that's terrible.
There you go.
Awesome. All right, Super Bowl 58. Let's jump into it. We got the 49ers and the Chiefs. 49ers favorite at -2.5. Over under sitting at 47.5. Now, let's go ahead and recap over what's happened throughout the playoffs this year, okay? 49ers, number 1 seed of the NFC, okay? They are coming off a 34-31 win against the Lions, which they squeaked by. And they beat the Packers the week before that, squeaking by 24-21. Chiefs, sitting at the number 3 seed in the AFC, coming off a 17-10 win against Baltimore. Heart fucking broken. They beat Buffalo as well in the divisional round, 27-24. And the Miami Dolphins in the wild card round, 26-7. Chiefs are on a fucking tear right now.
Yeah.
I'm liking what I'm seeing, though, from both teams.
Yeah, see, I guess I'm still caught up just seeing on how it turned out in the last game. Like the Chiefs getting it that, how it's even close with the Baltimore Ravens. They were 2 plays, and we're not going to, dwell on what happened 2 weeks ago. It was heartbreaking, I will say. I was genuinely rooting for the Baltimore Ravens. There were 2 opportunities that shouldn't, honestly, they shouldn't have let the Chiefs take advantage of them that
I agree.
the game.
I agree.
For sure. Obviously, Kelsey and Mahomes were going to come out guns blazing, and they really did, first drive of the game. But again, not to dwell on it, I guess they earned it. They really show up when it comes to playoff, like you call them, playoff Patrick. This one, I wouldn't call it a miracle. They really put the Baltimore Ravens in their place. We didn't expect them to come out that way.
I agree.
We expected the Ravens to come out just as guns blazing and run heavy as they always have throughout the season. But that's not what we saw. Nonetheless, I am liking what I'm seeing for the Super Bowl matchup again. I just hope it is not the same outcome that we have been seeing like a couple of years.
Well, so but I mean, I guess we're gonna find out. We don't have a choice. No. These are the two teams we're stuck with. But just not to dwell on the Ravens game, but the Chiefs broke my fucking heart last week. Well, I guess it wasn't the Chiefs; it was more or less the Ravens with that atrocious play calling from the number one rushing offense in the NFL that averaged 165 yards in the regular season. But hey, whatever. Let's not run the ball whatsoever. That makes perfect sense. But the 49ers, they broke hearts around the fucking world for everybody except California. I think everybody wanted the Lions to win that game.
Couldn't even imagine genuinely being a Detroit Lions fans. How confident and how I don't even know what words to express on how great they must have felt coming in or ending the first half.
At 24-7.
I genuinely didn't think that the 49ers would be able to come back the way they did and still outright beat them the way they did.
Tied it up by the end of the third, beat them by the end of the fourth.
I genuinely couldn't.
Yeah. That was heartbreaking. I hated to see it, but once again in the playoffs, 49ers squeak by. What were you going to say, John?
I was going to say, I guess you're right on that. But one thing I noticed, and I really wish I would have looked at this as a prop, and I don't know if you guys did, but man, Brock Purdy's got some legs, bruh.
Oh, yeah, bro.
That dude can run.
Little fucker.
Yeah. That dude was really running a lot more than I genuinely thought he did the whole season. And I'm sure a lot of people were just as surprised seeing him run that much. But that was just the key. It really was for them to progress as much as they did. And again, not to dwell on it, but if Lamar would have ran just as much as Brock Purdy did, outcome could have possibly been different. But
we'd have a 49ers-Ravens Super Bowl.
Yeah. That's where we're at. That's what we're talking about. But go ahead.
Yeah, so, I mean, once again, they squeaked by, but that seems to be par for the course for the 49ers in the playoffs this year. They are going to have to make some drastic changes. The only impressive wins that I thought that they had in the regular season were going to be the Cowboys. They beat them 42-10.
Yeah.
And then they also beat the Eagles 42-19. Mm-hmm. Everybody else were nothing burgers. Like, they were all just mediocre teams. And then the second they come around to the Ravens,
I was just about to say
they got their dick stomped in.
Yeah.
And now they barely squeak by the Lions. They barely squeak by the Packers. We're going to get back to that point. But, so then they get to the playoffs, only winning by 3 from everybody. One thing that I did not get from those games is we are 100% going to win the Super Bowl. That never crossed my mind watching them play throughout the entire playoffs at all. Like, I never thought 100% there is no way the 49ers are going to get beat. Never once did I think that.
I agree with you.
They have every fucking weapon they could possibly need.
And you bring it up every single time.
And somehow they seem to just barely skate by all the time.
With an arsenal like that.
Yeah. And then their defense is they were, I think, ended up ranked 8th in the regular season.
Right.
Okay. So they were averaging 303 yards allowed per game in the regular season. Not too bad. It's kind of par for the course. Divvy up about 100 yards between the running backs, 200 yards for throwing. Yep. Not that crazy. In the playoffs, they're allowing 386 opposing offensive yards. And it was the Lions and the Packers. Now, with that being said, who has the more electric offense? Detroit, Green Bay, or Kansas City?
I'm going to go ahead and say Detroit.
I agree with that as well.
I figured you were going to say that too.
Yeah. So with them struggling with the Lions, I see them struggling big time against the Chiefs as well. Against the Chiefs defense, who has showed up and showed out.
Yeah, because the offense, as far as it goes, is only 3 people. Hear me out. It's really Patrick Mahomes and Kelsey. Those are the given. Actually, I'm going to take that back. They're kind of 4. Pacheco. Isaiah Pacheco.
And then your 4th, I know where you're going.
I will say, I don't know if we're going to agree on this one. I was going to say Scatling. The only reason I say that is because whenever he actually catches a fucking ball, it is always a game decision play where he catches the ball.
Yes.
Well,
what happened in the last game?
And
or 2 games ago, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, I don't know if, he's got the necessary skill. And I guess a little bit with Kadarius Toney too. He's another one.
I like Rashid Rice on there.
Oh
man.
yeah.
He's a fucking
that's the
stud.
guy. That's the guy. But as far as any like seeing under their sleeve and what sort of tricks they can play by and how they get by. It's always this fucking guy who comes out of nowhere, and he's one of the last people that cross your mind who's the ball's going to go to.
And you want to know, so with you saying that,
Yeah.
you want to know who my sleeper is in this game? McCole Hardman on the Chiefs.
Okay, yeah.
He's a young,
I
and
actually like him.
I like him for an anytime touchdown, to be honest.
Let's see
I think his odds are going to be through the roof, and I think what the Chiefs do, and they always seem to do it, a sleeper always gets the tutties. Whenever big games come into play, I mean, granted, it's been a lot of Kelsey, a lot of Pacheco, but they will sprinkle that in. And then what's his anytime touchdown?
His anytime touchdown is plus 1,600.
I like that. That's worth $5.
Anytime? Dang.
That's worth $5, y'all.
I like that. I like that. If you wanted to play it out and stretch it out those odds just a bit, is if you just hope to God that he doesn't get the first touchdown. Because obviously, the longer the game progresses, those odds obviously increase.
Yes.
Do you think you could see him as a first-time touchdown?
Yes.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say Kelsey or Pacheco. Because those are the given.
And I think that's what Shanahan's going to plan for. I think that's what the 49ers are going to plan for. They're going to be expecting the ball to be going to Kelsey and Pacheco, which they're still going to get it. Not going to get it where it matters, though, I think. I think they're going to use them to march downfield. And guess who else is coming back off the injury reserve for the Chiefs?
Who?
Jerick McKinnon.
Oh, yeah. I haven't seen that guy in a minute.
Yeah, bro.
Right.
He is lethal back there with Pacheco, man. McKinnon's a dog back there. He will rock your shit. I'm glad that he's coming back. It's going to be a huge help for Kansas City's backfield. But McCole Hardman, one to watch out for. And MVS. 100%.
Yeah, I think so.
If there is one team that is going to stop the Bang Bang 49ers gang, it's going to be the Chiefs.
Yes.
I 100% believe that they will give them a run for their money. I'm kind of playing both fields right now. I'm like leaning towards the 49ers, then I'm like, no. The Chiefs are pretty good too.
You know, yeah, because you want to follow your heart, but you're also following the betting strategy of it all.
Correct,
You know,
yes.
you got to consider both ends because at the end of the day, we want to see green on your slips, our slips, in our hearts. And I hope most of the United States hearts are rooting for the 49ers. I want to see Mr. Irrelevant finally become Mr. Relevant.
Oh, I like that.
I really want to see him.
Call the New York Times.
Because everyone just says that he's so irrelevant and he's just a fraud. I will say the last second half of their game of the playoffs, or the AFC Championship, NFC Championship. The way he played like that, it really opened up my eyes that I'm like, okay, this quarterback, Brock Purdy, really, he's got the spunk. Kittle, if you guys go back, that dude, find some snippets. He was actually encouraging him and the whole team throughout that game. That dude never lost any confidence and any enthusiasm from the beginning when they were getting smoked. All the way to the second half. And he even said it in the second half, if we come back, I'm going to let them hear it. And lo and behold, when they won and they went up to hold the trophy, and it was his turn to talk on the mic, he let them all hear it. And you can go back and, bro, it's crazy. He really called it. He really stood for his team. He's a good role model. I've always liked him.
I love Kittle.
He's part of the community, and he participates in the WWE. I'm a wrestling fan, but he's a part of it too, bro. I really like him.
I'd put him in probably like my top 20 favorite players in the NFL.
I'd probably
like, I love how like whatever the sky cam will come across,
Yeah,
to look up at it and be like, he's so funny, man.
Yeah.
He's a great dude.
Yeah.
I love him in this game. I'm going to get to that here in just a little bit, though. Like I said, if there's one team that can stop them, it's going to be the Chiefs. Chiefs are looking to defend their Super Bowl title, win back-to-back. Do you know the last time that happened? Defending champs won 2 seasons in a row. You know.
Oh, well, obviously the Patriots.
It was the Patriots, yeah.
But didn't the Kansas City Chiefs win 2 times in a row?
Not back-to-back. They went back-to-back.
Oh,
Didn't win
okay.
back-to-back, though.
Okay, gotcha,
You know who
gotcha.
spoiled that?
My boy. My boy. I remember that one.
Fucking
Tom freaking Brady.
Yeah.
The GOAT.
So he set that. The last time that happened was in 2004 with the Patriots. That Super Bowl was won back-to-back by the same team. Mahomes is looking for his first one. I think it's going to be a good game.
Okay, all right.
The Chiefs in the playoffs turn into juggernauts. That's the only way to describe it.
Yeah.
Those boys can go fucking 9-8 in the regular season and turn around and stomp your dick in all the way through the playoffs.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, they have done unbelievable in the playoffs. You knocked off the Dolphins, who I thought were maybe going to make it to the next round. But against the Chiefs, it could have went either way. Beat the shit out of them. Then they went and beat the Bills. Then they went and beat the Ravens. You know, it's like they are proving that once again that they are the team to beat.
Yes, sir.
I don't think it's the other way around. I don't think even though Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs are an underdog, I still don't think it's the Chiefs need to beat the 49ers. The 49ers are the ones coming in to a stage that this entire Chiefs franchise is very familiar with. They know how to play in big games like this. They know how to execute. And Andy Reid, he doesn't flinch a fucking eye when it comes to these games, man. He is in his zone. He's taking his boys out for burgers if they win. Andy Reid's a great coach, but don't knock Kyle Shanahan either. His daddy was a great coach, and he's done beautiful things with that 49ers team. I'm in a bit of a quarry.
That was a roll he just went on. That was a roll. I liked it. I really do. And we're no sports analysts, but tell me this. I was watching Tim the Tatman, gaming streamer, if you guys have heard of him once in your life.
Big Cowboys fan, right?
Yeah, he is, and it sucks for him. But anyway, he brought up in his stream, midstream, and he said it too. I'm no game analyst, but for anyone in the chat who is, or at least understands, he wants a general explanation as to why the Kansas City Chiefs, up until this point, are still underdogs, and the line sits at +2.5 on their end. So, the another thing to consider is everyone has been talking about the script, right? We talk about the script all the time, but this one, it just feels far, far more scripted because the fact that Taylor Swift has now entered, in a sense, in the NFL. It's almost like a romance story that's been being built on them, dude. And I don't want to look at it that way. We're here for football, nonetheless, but they're just building it so much on them, and it's not even like it's the NFL that's doing it. It's the NFL that's doing it. Don't you kind of feel like they're purposely writing this story for the Kansas City Chiefs and Taylor Swift? Not one bit.
Well,
and they're still underdogs. It kind of makes you feel like you're on both ends in that regard.
yes and no. Is there a script? We know there's not. Like there'd be no way to execute it, but by golly, it's fun to talk about. Like that's what I excuse for my.
It just feels that way.
That's what I excuse for my. That's what I used for my excuse all week.
And we all
2 weeks ago for the Ravens losing.
Yeah.
There was a script, but
like
it does feel like they're destined to win. The only thing I can see why they are favored, the 49ers, again, it's by 2.5. You know, it's a field goal. For one, the 49ers are closer to the stadium. And for two, all around, the 49ers have better names on their roster.
Yeah.
100%. Like that's not even a question. And I think that's kind of the underlying factor. But does it feel like the Chiefs are being set up to win? No.
You don't think so? Not one bit. Not one bit.
Not one bit.
That's interesting.
I do think that they are doing everything in their power to milk this Taylor Swift shit 100%.
Yeah. Because I mean, the numbers in the jersey numbers that the sales,
Kelsey's
are astronomical. They really are. And I'm not gonna throw it out there, but you can literally look it up on Google.
I don't think that because of Taylor Swift, they are going to make the Chiefs win the Super Bowl. I think that the Chiefs will get the calls they always do. I think that Patrick will cry to the refs like he always does and get his flags. And you got to do what you got to do to win this ball game. But do you answer your question? Yes, it does feel like the NFL wants the Chiefs to win.
Yeah.
But by golly, not one sports book in the world has the Chiefs as a favorite.
Yeah.
Not one.
Yeah. Or even, you know. They
not even money, yeah.
Yeah.
What's Chiefs money line odds?
+110.
Okay, so that feels like a fucking joke to me right there. Because you've got them as the underdog, but you've only got them juiced by 10 cents on the dollar.
Yeah.
Maybe the sports books are favoring Kansas a little bit.
They are.
Because what's 49ers money line?
-130.
But
it's probably because of the aspect of what you say and what we've been saying is what type of arsenal they have.
Correct.
You know, if you put it on a player standpoint on who they have on the team, then that's where the favoritism kind of plays. Because at the end of the day, if you put I bet if I came to you in person, I want you to name 5 players from the Chiefs and 5 players from the 49ers. I feel like you're going to think right off the bat and you're going to finish that count of 5 on the 49ers first before you even touch the Chiefs.
Well, and then the 5 names you name off are going to be on the 49ers are going to completely dominate the...
Exactly my point. So
Yeah.
maybe that's where that aspect comes from, not necessarily like or the script, if you will. But again, to me, it feels like it is so fucking scripted where I want to put my money on the Chiefs. Frankly, I'll let you finish before I even give you my pick. I'll let you finish before I get my pick.
All right. I love John's little tidbits.
You got to give
his little tangents he rolls off on.
Yeah, I do. My fault.
No. I think it's great. I think that's
you got to be used to it now. All right, here.
All right, where were we at? Chiefs turn into fucking juggernauts.
Yes, sir.
They play very well in the regular season, but they play astronomically better in the playoffs. And I think everybody can agree on that. Chiefs defense, we already covered that. They morphed into something beautiful, and I think part of that is thanks to Steve Spagnuolo. He's a great defensive coordinator. I did not believe in him the first year he was there, but he slowly got better and better. And I think his scheme has finally adapted to these players, and they're knowing how to run it perfectly. It's going to be hard for Brock Purdy. Chris Jones is going to cause havoc on his fucking day.
I think one thing I realized about that, to cut in about Brock Purdy real quick, is, and you guys have probably realized it last game, though, if they can get to Brock Purdy, he does not handle pressure well at all.
No.
If they can get to him into the pocket quick enough, he's not the best scrambler per se. He's really not. But if they can continue to do that the same way the Detroit Lions pushed them out of the pocket and kept them under control that first half.
Correct.
If the Chiefs continue to do the same thing that the Detroit Lions did, 49ers will crumble.
I agree. Purdy, like you said, he's got legs. He ain't got that many, though.
Yeah, not that many. Yeah.
He's not going to be able to run for his life the entire game.
Yes, sir. Continue.
So only once this entire season has a team scored more than 24 points on the Chiefs. Only once all year long.
I'll go ahead and say Detroit Lions.
I had no idea who it was, but
you don't?
No, because the Lions was 22-21. You and I were in the keys for that. Yeah. That was 22-21. Yep.
Okay.
So I don't know who did it, but to only have one team score more than 24 points on you, that just doubles back on the point of how good this defense has morphed in to just an astronomically better all around squad.
Yes, sir.
If you pull that up, I'm very curious as to who scored more than 24 points on them.
Can you give me the number again? More than 24?
More than 24. Only one team. I think multiple teams scored 24 on them, but only one scored more than 24 points.
Did they beat them that game?
I don't know.
Oh, more than 24?
Yeah.
Wow.
Who was it?
The Cleveland Browns.
Who was the quarterback? Was that PJ Walker?
It ended at 33-32. The Chiefs still won, and it was actually they went through all three of them. They went straight off for them.
Mond, Watson, and Thompson Robinson. Oh my God!
Yeah, that was the game. They went through all three of them.
They went through three quarterbacks and still put up 30
that's pretty
points.
impressive, though.
Yeah, most definitely. But just keep that in mind. I don't think that should apply to the 49ers. Because that's 3 touchdowns and a field goal. I expect this game to be right there for the 49ers. 3 touchdowns and a field goal. Here's just a fun little tidbit for you guys.
Oh, actually,
what you got?
Sorry. I gave you a preseason.
Oh.
Is that a postseason stat? If so,
postseason.
Okay, if it's postseason, the only team that scored 24 on the dot and over is the Buffalo Bills. It ended at 27-20.
No. Regular season.
That is. Oh, regular? No one ever did.
Right there. Bengals.
Where?
Bengals. 25. Oh, they won.
They won. Yeah.
Oh my God. All right. Hold on, you guys.
Sorry. Yeah, bro. They never. That's the only 2 teams, and that was in preseason. The most ever scored on them was the Detroit Lions, and that was at 20.
Maybe that's what they were talking about when I found that stat line.
Yeah.
But either way, yeah. So I mean, you can just count it as the Bills then.
Yep. Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah. That's good defense.
Yeah. Fun little tidbit for you guys, including Super Bowl 54. Kansas City has won 3 straight matches against San Francisco, and 5 of the last 6. Okay. Patrick Mahomes came up with a tremendous performance against the 49ers in week 7 of 2022. 25 of 34, 423 yards, 3 touchdowns, 44-23 victory.
Damn.
This is a different 49ers team, though, okay?
Absolutely.
So take that, just put that tidbit back in your head, because I don't know if that plays that big of a factor in this game, okay? I think that here's my logic, okay?
Listen, boys, this is where it gets interesting.
Ravens beat the 49ers,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
Okay. Chiefs
Smacked him.
beat the Ravens.
Yep.
Okay, so now let's look at this. Chiefs, Ravens, 49ers. That's 100% how the list goes compared to
You're saying that because the Ravens beat the shit out of the 49ers.
because of how the games went when they previously played.
Yeah.
So the 49ers couldn't beat the Ravens, but the Chiefs could beat the Ravens. So, I mean, in my head, I don't see the 49ers as favorites in this game. It doesn't make sense to me. I agree with you 100% on that. But at the end of the day,
Let's hear it.
give me playoff Patrick and the money line. Chiefs win outright, and give me Patrick Mahomes for Super Bowl MVP.
Oh, wow. That last one surprised me, but I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all for the MVP aspect of it.
Honest to God, whichever team wins, if the 49ers win, it'll be Purdy or McCaffrey. If the Chiefs win, there is zero doubt in my mind it will 100% be Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. I will say if the Chiefs win, that is the way it's going to go. If the 49ers win, it will absolutely not be Brock Purdy.
Oh,
it will.
Even though he was just favored to be MVP of the league going into the Ravens game.
I really do think that because, bro, like even if in the commercials, you don't see Brock Purdy at all. You see CMC. You get his own commercial. I'm not saying that, like, can a commercial justify the reason someone gets an MVP? Absolutely not. But again, I've mentioned it in a couple episodes in our pod through the season, is that when you put up two teams, they obviously show their star players at the screen of who's going to be playing each other. You don't even see Brock Purdy. You see CMC. So I don't think it'll go that way as far as Brock Purdy winning MVP if the 49ers do, in fact, win. But again, we're going to our final pick here. If I had to choose with
all right, so from you, I want a money line pick.
Of course.
I want a spread pick, and I want an over-under pick.
Oh, all right. Okay. I'm going to go with the under and over first. The over and under sat at what?
47.5.
I'm going to go with the
last time they played, just so you know, 44-23.
I'm going to go with the over. I think this is going to be a high-scoring Super Bowl. At least I hope so. Or at least to break at least the line. You said over and under and the money line. The spread, too?
Spread, too.
The spread is favoring the 49ers at -2.5.
Correctamundo.
I think they win by 1. If
who?
The 49ers.
Whoa!
They don't let a repeat happen. I think they want to find, the NFL wants to find a new Tom Brady, which might be Pat Mahomes. But listen to this part. The 49ers have Bosa. So Patrick obviously does well in coverage and in the pocket. And he doesn't panic.
Correct.
Patrick doesn't panic because he's so used to it. He, especially in the playoffs, like you have mentioned, over the course of the past 2 seasons we started this pod. And even before then, everyone knows how good Patrick is in any circumstance and how long he can hold that ball for and get away and still make plays. I don't think Brock can do that. So the reason I still believe that the 49ers on the defensive aspect, if they can still somehow get to Patrick Mahomes, not for him to panic, but for him to just get rid of the ball. It's not even to sack him because I can't see Patrick Mahomes getting sacked more than 2 times this entire game. I genuinely don't. So if it's up to Bosa and that whole defensive line to get to him, I still think Patrick Mahomes might actually throw 1 pick. I think both quarterbacks throw a pick, honestly. There has to be a turning point in one of these 2 teams that something crazy is going to happen, just the way the Ravens turned it over to the Chiefs 2 times. For sure, 1 was the fumble in the end zone that ended up being a touchback, so that was heartbreaking. Regardless, I still think that if 49ers could somehow get to Patrick Mahomes on the defensive end, that's a big part. Now, that's the defensive side. Now, the offensive side, we name off the arsenal that the 49ers have all the time. Deebo Samuel, Kittle, CMC. We already know them. I'm not going to name them off again. I think that it's going to come to... We might even see CMC for 2 touchdowns. We've called that a pot or two ago before, too. So, they just have more weaponry. If they can keep Kelsey under control and they can keep Pacheco under control. I know it's hard to ask for 2 of them, and they're going to really try their hardest to figure out how they're going to cover each other. I think they're going to be just fine covering Pacheco. The hard one's covering Kelsey, because this dude is so good at just getting open and finding a hole every single time, no matter how they work it. So if they can keep that, and that's perfect. Now, the offensive end, he's got weaponry, so he can really go to any one of them. So I still think, and I really do. I really do think, even as much as I feel that the NFL is scripted, the NFL feels like Taylor Swift has to be shown every goddamn time they show Kelsey or anything happen. Even if he catches 1 fucking yard, it doesn't matter. I think that they are finally going to become relevant. I mean Brock Purdy. There's not going to be a blowout by any means. No shot, no way. Not even a touchdown. But I can see it coming down to that little spread that it's already on at +2.5 on the Chiefs.
Okay.
And if you might say, well, if you think it's going to end at 1 point, why don't you just take the Chiefs at +2?
No, I'm not. I wasn't going to belittle you.
Right. But because you told me to pick each spread, money line. I can see the 49ers winning by 1 point, but I refuse for me to.
I do the same shit though, bro, because right now I've got under 48.5, even though the spread sits at 47.5. You could use that same logic on me.
Yeah.
Why don't you take over 47.5?
But
it's like you just want that cushion.
Exactly.
I just want that cushion, baby.
That one pick that I bring up every single time. What is it? Instead of the spread, if we know it's going to be this close.
Oh, win margin.
The win margin.
And this man just got the Bulls game right the other night at +850, which is fucking nutty. So listen to what he's got to say. Tune in.
So if you think, and we all know it's going to be close. We all know that. Like, Vegas knows it. We know it. If the spread comes out to -14 at some point in the game, either of the teams are going to come back. I know it. I feel it. And that'll probably be a better time to lock in the winning margin if it's open in your sports book. FanDuel has it open all the way, I think, until honestly, half of the 4th quarter. Football and basketball. So if you take it, be sure to do it early enough, because on football, it actually plays of a winning margin between 1 and 13 points. NBA is 1 to 10 points. You're telling me that both of these teams can't cover 13 points, a touchdown, and 2 field goals? I genuinely don't believe that. So, and I don't think FanDuel allows you to do it as a same game parlay, unfortunately. But if the odds make sense to you, play it as a straight. If it doesn't allow you to do a same game parlay, but I love it. So instead of just taking the 49ers money line or the Chiefs money line, if at some point either of those two hit +200 or 300, I'm gonna play them both. And that is, you're going to see green no matter how you play it, because one of those two will cover between 13 points.
Yeah.
And win.
So, you might have better luck finding it than me.
I got you.
I'm terrible at finding the win margin. John's really good at that, just because he's so fucking good at hitting them. But at the end of the day,
here it is.
I love the Chiefs. So our winning margin, San Francisco by 1 to 13 points is only +135, and then the Chiefs to win by 1 to 13 points is only +160.
And that's why I say don't do it early right now. But if you do it and you're confident on one of these two that will win,
maybe find a live bet.
Yeah, but if you do it as a live bet, because they are open in the live game, wait for it to be +2 or +300, because then you're gonna win profit no matter how you play it.
Yep.
You just gotta wait for one to take the lead first.
Correct.
And there will be at least 2 or 3 lead switches in this game. I know it, bro. Like I genuinely do.
That or ties. Or ties.
Yeah. And it's a matter of, like, if they're tied, it depends at what quarter they're tied, because those odds are going to shift and who's going to get the possession on the next 100%. Drive. So.
Well, that is all I have for you. Just kidding. We got a fucking same game parlay for you.
Final
God damn it.
SGP, guys.
Last one of the year. It's a little heartbreaking, but I'm doing this reluctantly, and I'm doing it for y'all, man. I'm doing it for y'all. Right here, go ahead and get your phone out, lock this in. You're going to want to throw 4 units on this, because that's what I'm putting on it. I'm putting 4 units on this. I'm that confident in it. Here we go. Travis Kelce, 50 yards. Feels like a gimme. This man just came out and said this is the most important Super Bowl he has ever played in for him. That man is going to want to ball out. He's going to want the ball. He's got a billionaire bitch to show out for now, okay? So Travis Kelce over 50 yards. George Kittle over 40. I almost like him at 50, but I think he gets more receptions than he does yards. So I think Kittle for 40 should be a gimme. You don't think he gets 10 yards a quarter? He seems to be Purdy's favorite target in the playoffs right now.
Yeah.
So go ahead and give me Kittle for 40, Isaiah Pacheco for 50. You're asking for less than 15 yards a quarter.
Yep.
They love that guy. He sets up the play action. He does a great job at it. And we are only sticking with the OGs that we know will show up and show out. And you know who the last OG is? It's going to be CMC for 80 yards. Christian McCaffrey for 80 yards. That puts you at plus 339. 4 units. I don't know what your unit is, but I'm telling you, if you bet that, you're going to thank me on season 3 when we come back to see you.
I genuinely love it. The only thing I was going to ask you, not to take off, if you could put any one more leg on there. And the reason I say that is FanDuel is running a no sweat bet on the Super Bowl as long as your odds are at plus 400. The one he read off to you at the time of making it, at least. He hasn't placed it in. I don't think you did. Is at plus
yet.
339. So if you could give us any other pick on there, that would push us to 400 so we don't have to worry about losing our money. What would you give us?
So let's go ahead and just double back. So we've got Kittle for 40.
Love it.
Travis Kelce for 50.
Love it.
And then on our rushing yards, we have got McCaffrey for 80.
Yep.
And we have got Pacheco for 50.
Yep.
Y'all ready?
What is it? What's the
Rashid
final
Rice for 40 yards. Rashid
leg?
Rice for 40 fucking yards.
Receiver. Yeah, duh.
Rashid Rice for 40 yards. You throw that bad boy on there. We are now sitting at plus 445. We ain't talking Wendy's. 445. This is a great fucking bet, you guys. Even if you're a little nervous about it, you can bump. God, I don't even know who I'd bump down on this because I'm so confident in every leg. Maybe Pacheco for 40. You are going to get a big swift change in the odds on your final odds. I like him for 50 though, but the only way this works is if this game goes neck and neck. You know, as long as they stay within one score of each other, this will hit. If the 49ers pull away by 28 points or vice versa, you're going to see those rushing yards deplete. They're not going to be handing the ball off as much. They're going to be running play action. Same with the Chiefs. So we are rooting on a very close game. That's what we need for this parlay to hit. That's your steamer right there, though, y'all.
I love it. The final Nicky G SGP of season.
Until next year.
Until next year.
Or later this year.
That is. Oh, you're right. In a couple months. It'll fly by, but it won't fly quick enough. But I don't have anything else. I think if I could go with one final play, I'm sure we're all going to see it. It has to happen. Is an anytime touchdown by Travis Kelce. A straight bet. I think it's going to happen no matter what. But if you don't want to touch the touchdowns, which I know everyone's gonna, come on, you gotta. If I had to do it in anyone I'm confident in, CMC, but the juice makes more sense on Travis Kelce. So give me a Travis Kelce anytime touchdown.
All right, well, since we're doing touchdowns real quick, let me go ahead and give you one. We're going out with the fucking bang this year, y'all.
Yeah, this is it. We don't get to do it for what? Another 5-6 months?
Yeah. Don't remind me.
All right. So what you cooking?
Right now I have got an absolute fucking banger. I can tell you that right fucking now. We're just gonna go with 3 legs here, and we're sitting at 696, y'all. Now this is gonna be the basic run of the mill shit. Okay. McCaffrey, Kelce, Kittle. That's plus 696. Those are 3 guys. We know CMC's getting it. There's no way he does not get in on the biggest game of his entire career.
Absolutely.
Kelce, that man is just a playoff fucking god. That man's open 24/7 in the end zone and catch the most ridiculous passes from Mahomes.
Yeah.
Give me him. Kittle, another guy that just does great in the spotlight. It's not like he's a prima donna or anything.
Not at all. Not at all.
That boy just loves playing ball.
Yep.
And he will go out there and body somebody in that fucking end zone and catch that ball for a
Super
tutty.
Bowl, bro. I can't.
Me either. I'm so fucking excited.
696 though, that's money. I really like
696,
that.
yeah.
I really do. These again, the first two are just out of the gate. You know that this is gonna hit. CMC, biggest career of his life. Travis Kelce, he has some motivation now to obviously win this game. Kittle, he's never had that spotlight, and much as he wants to, there's no better night to get it than that right there.
I agree.
So,
I agree.
I think that wraps it up from my end, brother.
God, I just keep. I'm trying to think about other stuff to talk about because I don't want it to end.
I hear you, bro. But I mean, that's really just about it. It's
That's
gonna
it.
come down who to which two of these fucking teams
That's all she wrote.
are gonna come out on top.
You got the 49ers over here. You got the Chiefs over here. I'm very excited. I'm very, very excited. We might, on our social medias, we might release like a reel or something of us hanging out and just talking shit to the other person that lost. That's always a good time.
I agree. I'm more than happy because in the end of the day, we say it all the time. There's no one in the world I would rather talk about football and share my gambling thoughts than you, my friend.
I could not agree more, buddy. I'll cheers to that one, Bubba.
I think that's it signing us off, right?
I think that's it right there.
Guys, you got me, Johnny freaking G, and my absolute brother, my favorite co-host that helped me start our favorite podcast and hopefully your guys' favorite, Our Last Leg.
Nick G!
Guys, we will see you guys again on season 3. Can I get a final cheers, brother?
Goddamn right, Bubba. It was a pleasure. Good luck.
Peace.
Happy Super Bowl. Mwah. Love you guys.
Adios.